Chapter 132, Divine Artifact of Research 3. Again, let's confirm a few more times, Luo Shifeng said happily. All right, that woe of them cooperated very well, but Zhu Tui had a depressed expression. After confirming the plan, he also got Luo Shifeng and Liu Lan to stimulate the activation of genetic base points. At that time, these two would know how satisfying it was to stimulate this part. Luo Shifeng rubbed his hands excitedly after he confirmed with Zhu Tui many times. The most important first stage of the experiment has basically been completed. Later, I will come up with a multi-point stimulation plan centered on the location of the discovery. Let's see if it can have a better effect. Once we solve the last problem, we can start our volunteer replication experiment, Luo Shifeng said excitedly. What problem? Zhu Tui asked. Safety and side effects. When he saw Zhu Tui frown, Luo Shifeng explained the situation to Zhu Tui in detail. The reason why the genetic committee had always listed the development of new genetic base points related to various abilities as important research goals and results was that apart from its value, the most important thing was that the pioneers might suffer all kinds of side effects during the development process. Their lives might even be in danger. A small portion of the genetic base points might become a double-edged sword after it was activated. Some might have the effect of increasing a human's related abilities. Some might also bring a certain degree of side effects to a human. It might even endanger their lives, including death on the spot. That was the value of a pioneer. First, he eliminated the risk of death for everyone. If he died, the pioneers would naturally cease to exist. Then, after the development was successful, the pioneers had to first assess their abilities and side effects. It was better if there were no side effects. If the side effects were greater than the benefits of the ability, he would have to promote it cautiously. Of course, under such circumstances, it would still be considered a scientific research result. The rewards would not be little. However, the pioneers would probably not feel that well. It would take a long time and many methods to get rid of the side effects or adapt to them. For example, for a long time after many sound-type genetic abilities were activated, the person who activated them would have to endure the bombardment of tiny noises or even auditory hallucinations. Then how dangerous is this? Zhu Tui asked after he finished listening. The level of danger is different. For example, the activation of the new genetic base points of the extreme branch can at most cause some physical problems. If it was uncoordinated, one of the limbs would be thick and the pain would not be life-threatening. The most dangerous thing was the new genetic base points related to the mystery branch. If one's luck was slightly bad, they would either die of brain death, explode, or become paralyzed. Self-immolation, rockification, body spasms, and so on were considered minor side effects in the mystery branch. It was too difficult for the mystery branch to explore new genetic base points. Because if you're not careful, you might die. As he spoke, Luo Shifeng sighed. Compared to the mystery branch, the genetic base points of our neural branch basically have no risk of death. Even the side effects are much lower than those of the extreme branch. However, this newly discovered genetic base point was located in the head. When it comes to the head, the danger will increase. As Professor Luo spoke, Zhu Tui suddenly thought of a problem. At that moment, he suddenly realized the true value of the perfect cloning equipment in the Research Institute number 14. It was simply a divine artifact of research of the mystery branch. Zhu Tui had personally experienced the selection of the transcription vector for the Black Crown Queen Bee's genetic transcription fluid. He had to detonate 40 of his own clones to find 3 successful plans. Even before the successful clone number 8, Zhu Tui would have to die 7 times before he could find the correct answer. The problem was that Zhu Tui was not a 9 lives cat. He did not have 7 lives. The perfect cloning equipment that could nurture 200 clones in the Research Institute number 14 was definitely a divine artifact for research. No wonder Vice President Liu, who was a member of the Genetic Research Institute's council, had designs on that set of equipment. The value was there. Zhu Tui's new clone was still in the process of being cloned. It would take a long time before he could use it again when it was in its mature stage. Otherwise, he would have been able to solve the safety issue perfectly by asking Zhao Soxui to help with the experiment. How about this? I'll solve this safety issue, Luo Shifeng suddenly said when he saw that Zhu Tui was stunned. Professor Luo, how are you going to resolve this? The stimulation method has been found. I'll personally activate this undiscovered genetic base point. I'll do the evaluation after I activate it successfully. Then, I'll get the volunteers to reproduce it, Luo Shifeng said. Professor Luo, isn't this too dangerous? Liu Lan asked worriedly. Hearing this, Luo Shifeng chuckled. If you don't even have the spirit and courage to do scientific research, how can you leave your name in history? When he said this, Luo Shifeng's eyes were glowing. Zhu Tui suddenly looked at Luo Shifeng. At this moment, Luo Shifeng, whose eyes were shining, made him look up to him. Don't worry, the development of genetic base points in the neurology department is the least dangerous. As long as it's a genetic base point related to the reaction speed of the nerves. Even if it's not the main base point, there won't be any life-threatening situations. The worst outcome would be some irreversible side effects. However, this situation could be controlled. If a certain genetic base point really brought about irreversible side effects or even life-threatening effects, my body would give me a certain level of warning after I slow down the activation speed and sense it carefully. During the process of human evolution, most of the genes that needed to be activated were genes that had been tamed by humans before being abandoned for various reasons. You're just like a dog. As long as you're careful enough during the activation process, how can you hurt the owner? Luo Shifeng's words were filled with confidence and an inexplicable sense of ease. However, the mystery branch is an exception, Luo Shifeng quickly added, afraid that he would mislead Zhu Tui. It's just that it's not enough with me, the pioneer, especially if I have to go through the volunteer duplication process. Liu Lan, you should come along too. I'll explore first. It's good that you're lagging behind me. You won't have any danger, Luo Shifeng said to Liu Lan. This sudden suggestion made Liu Lan unable to react, or perhaps she was considering it. She was stunned for a moment and did not speak. Professor Luo, let me do it, Zhu Tui volunteered. No, you're still a student. Even if there are only side effects, it might affect you greatly. We can handle this. Luo Shifeng refused. It's fine. I'm the one who discovered it. I have to participate. Zhu Tui's tone was firm. Besides, Professor Luo, you've already said that you need courage and sacrifice in order to leave your name in history. Luo Shifeng smiled, his lips full of smiles. In the future, don't call me Professor Luo. Call me Mr. Luo. All right, Mr. Luo. Zhu Tui also smiled. He believed that by slowly activating this genetic base point in his illusory introspective state, he should be able to minimize the danger. It was only at this moment that Liu Lan realized the pros and cons. Director Luo, no problem. I'll participate too, Liu Lan said anxiously. Yes, okay. Luo Shifeng nodded slightly. He looked at Liu Lan with a different gaze.